the discussion of monster movies, and in particular werewolf movies, I almost never hear anyone bring up Wolf, starring Jack Nicholson. Whatever reason it may be, this movie made in 1994 seems to be obscure in terms of pop culture and horror movie talk. It's directed by Mike Nichols, who also made The Graduate in 1967. Jack Nicholson plays Will Randall, a publishing editor coming back to New York from his trip in New England. While being down on his luck, he's also bitten by a wolf that he hit with his car, and of course he's soon to find out that he's been affected by the wolf's bite, and that leads to a lot of things. Having seen some of the director's other work, this is consistent with her previous style. There's definitely a humorous element to the story, but it's played in a tongue-in-cheek manner, and honestly I think it works pretty well. There's also a sense of neo-realism here, and this grounded nature and humor work pretty well together. Jack Nicholson is, well, Jack Nicholson again, but in a slightly different way. It's a vintage Nicholson performance for sure, but for a good portion of the movie, he's more subdued than usual. This allows for his later scenes as a wolfman to stand out and appear more sinister, as opposed to the timid nature of Will Randall. I like this performance by Nicholson. It has its range of fun, sympathetic, and sinister attributes, and it works well with the tone of the movie. Speaking of the tone, Ennio Morricone provides the musical score. Anyone that knows Morricone would anticipate a good score, and I'm glad to say that this one is pretty unique and works perfectly with the film. Partner that with the effects of Rick Baker, and you've got a recipe for a really good movie. I guess the real problem here, though, is that the overall setup takes too long. It feels like a majority of the film is focused on Will facing the reality that he's a werewolf. The last act of the movie feels so rushed for that reason, which also makes it feel a little forced. Don't get me wrong, the last act is fun and exciting, in sort of a hilarious way, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be. Just look at Nicholson, what a sight. Overall, the real story here is about a man retaking control of his life, and it's kind of compelling, honestly. Partner that with good performances, a sense of humor, Rick Baker makeup, and music by Ennio Morricone, and you've got a pretty odd but satisfying film on your hands. This one's a real howl.